Hi everybody, sorry about the hollow sound in here, but the room's empty, the house is empty, so that's why it sounds so hollow. No carpet on the floor either. I want to show you how to cut in a switch plate. We're changing colors in this room. You can see it's blue. These areas that are white, those have been touched up by the previous painter that didn't finish the job, but he primed them with a primer so that the areas that he mudded over have a primer on it. But I had the customer get a paint that had the primer in it. This is a Pittsburgh paint, interior, and it's a eggshell finish. And easy to clean, easy to maintain. And he goes with a neutral color. This is a beige. Easier to sell the house this way. But anyways, this is how I do the cutting in. I do one brush width. Cut that in, cover it all real good. Need a little more paint on there. There's one coat with the brush. Now, that's not going to cover it. You know, it says guaranteed one coat cover up, but they don't tell you exactly how. With a brush, you can only put on so much at a time, otherwise it's going to run. But anyways, you put this one coat on, let her dry, and you're going to see some of that blue kind of showing through. It's going to have like a little transparent look. And that's the way a lot of times it goes even with the roll in the walls, especially with a big color change. So figure 2-coat cover up unless you're going real close. If you was going with the blue on this again, close to that, you'd be fine with 1 coat. But in this case, we got to do the 2-coat cover up. And a little bit later, I'll show you how I cut in the ceiling line. Different color than the ceiling. And I'll show you that. Hi everybody, this is Jerry. I want to show you how I cut in a switch plate. This is an outlet. And I use a brush. Now, somebody painted over this one before. It looks kind of crappy. I don't know, maybe the homeowner will change this, but because they did that, I'll go ahead and just cover it right now, lightly. But this is how I cut in around the box. Brush it on. Feather it out so we don't have any kind of lines or overlaps or runs. Now you can see, this is beige, this is blue. This is the original color of the wall from the last owner. These areas here you see that are white, that's primer from a previous painter that primed some areas he patched up. I'm using a paint, it's Pittsburgh paint. It's a eggshell finish, and it's primer and paint together. Even though it's primer and paint together, you can't cover it with 1 coat, not this big color change. If it's close to this color blue, you could do it 1 coat. But because of the difference from that blue to this beige, there's too much variation in color, it won't cover adequately. And you can't roll a wall and put it on too heavy. You're going to wind up with runs, you're going to wind up with roller marks, you're going to have brush marks too, and streaks everywhere if you put it on too heavy. It's got to be put on at a nice flow and leveled out evenly. And so when you do that, it's going to take 2 coats. But I just wanted you to see how I do this. I'll show you when I get this coating on, and then I'll also show you how I cut in the ceiling edge, the ceiling corner to the wall. The ceiling's white and then the wall's beige, so we got to cut in very carefully all the way around the room. So we get a nice sharp edge looking all the way around. And we'll talk to you then. Okay, I'm going to show you now how I cut in the corner. In the corners, take my brush, go 1 width from the corner, right into the corner, and then on the other side. Same way. Brush it in, feather it out. Feather that out, it'll go spread quite a ways. We don't have any runs. Over here too. And that's the way I cut in the corners. So that way I know I've got the corners cut in good. I don't have to worry about the roller not getting into that corner and missing it. I'll use the brush. I'll put the first coat of paint on the walls, get up there as close as I can with the roller. Then once that's dry, I'll cut in these corners again with my brush and roll the second coat. And you'll never see where the roller mark or any kind of roller mark or where I stop because it feathered in good. And once I get up to the ceiling, I'll show you how I cut that in. There, on this video, I'd like to show you this wall. You can see this is where I cut in the corner. I want to go up here on the ceiling corner where the white meets the blue. And I want to cut that in. I want to show you how I do that by using a brush. I prefer the brush. I know there are many other tools out there on the market, but I feel the brush works the best for me. And what I do is I dip my brush in my little paint tray, kind of wipe off any excessive so it doesn't drip. Take my brush right up in the corner and just pull it along in that corner. It will ride right in the corner, make a nice cut line. And then I'll come back here on the side of it, brush it, feather it, and there you have it. Cutting in the ceiling corner. The wall and the ceiling corner. Okay, what I did is I went across the ceiling, cut that in, that corner all the way down to the baseboard, just above the baseboard, a little bit on it, above the register, cut in around the outlet and the switch over here, up along the door to the top of the door. Just wanted to see, this is how I start my painting process. Cut in first, then start rolling. And I'll get the roller going here and I'll show you how it looks when it has one coat on it. Okay, I just wanted to show you here. This area, one coat over this blue. And by applying it with the W effect, because you can roll back through the W, picking up more paint, putting it back down, spreading it out evenly across the wall. So then that way you're going to have a good, even cover. And I've always done this way throughout the years. I've got 30 plus years of painting experience, and I've always done it this way. This way works the best. Never had any callbacks from a customer because my paint job was bad, or it didn't cover, or didn't completely look right. Now, if the finish is done correctly to start with, prep right, put your paint on, and spread it out like I'm showing you, you'll have a real nice looking job when you get done. So I just wanted to show you that again. I can't express that probably strong enough how important it is to do that type of W design as you're putting your paint on, then rolling back through it and spreading it out to give that nice even look. I'll show you again. Back and forth, it picks the paint up, puts the paint down. Picks the paint up, puts the paint down. So that it covers it with a nice, even flow. And you get better results. Nice, better results. Real good results. Fantastic results. Fabulous results. That's what we want. Remember, what is the key? A happy customer. So do a good paint job. Hello everybody. Say, I want to show you here how I paint my walls. You can see where I had stopped, and I'll show you how I do this. I kind of roll it out like a W, and then come back through it, pick up more of the paint to distribute it, so it's going to be distributed out on the wall more evenly, so that it's not going to be thick and heavy in one spot. And then I go up all the way up to the top, back down lightly, feathering the paint, kind of spreading it out lightly, so it has a nice even flow, and not leaving any of the lines where your roller left off. You have to come down lightly. If you press too hard, you'll leave a big line of paint as it dries and really show on the wall. So here I go again, starting at the top, making that like a W, spreading it out, back and forth through it, just levels that all out so it's got like an even coat all through there. And then it's going to have a nice looking look to it when it's dry. Now I'll go ahead and do this bottom, kind of like a W. Spread it out. Have a nice even flow. Everything is covered good. This is my second coat on this wall. I know this is a paint that is Pittsburgh paint. It has a primer in the paint. But you know they say guaranteed one coat. I've been at this too many years to fall for that. And yeah, it could be one coat if you go back with the same color. But when you're changing colors, and there is a big difference in the color change, it would definitely take 2 coats of paint to cover it in order to get a good adequate coverage and a good look when you're done. So you don't have any areas that look thin and we're kind of missed. This way, everything's covered equally. No other roller showing, roller marks or some paint underneath that didn't get covered. That second coat helps you to cover that, because you'll look at your first coat, you can roll that out. When you're rolling it, looks like you got it all covered. Excuse me. But once it's dry, you can see areas that are still showing through. So they need that second coat. So I'm a second coat painter. One coat is for the first one, the second coat to cover up, can be completed, have a nice finished look when you're done. Customer satisfied. That's the key to the whole thing. Remember what the key is? Apply the paint, spread it out like a W, then come back through it, picking it up, putting it back down, spread it out. It levels it, gives it a even finish throughout that whole area. You just put that paint on, so you don't have some that's built up more than another. So that's the key, is to spread it out evenly, consistent with that flow all the way around your room. Never change from that. If you decide not to do that anymore and you try a different way, it may not work as well. But I find staying with the W effect, spreading it out, works great. People are happy that way with the paint jobs. Word of mouth comes, get you more jobs. I never had to pay for advertising. Keep busy. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, here's where I put a second coat on, and here's the first coat. Over in this area, I showed you that one picture earlier that still could see a line from the first coat, from the primer that was put on before the first coat of paint from the other painter when he touched up. And anyways, it's in this area, and when this dries, I will show you again and we'll see how it looks. Well, here we are. I'm on this wall, got the second coat on it. Remember I said once you had the 2 coats, you wouldn't be able to see that those lines, the variation in the color and the cover up. So you can see, did very well here. So we need to do 2 coat application to get a good quality job. This room is done. It's got 2 coats on it now. You can see it covered up real nice. You don't see any color variation or anything that shows from underneath any lines or transparent look. It all has a nice even flow now. 2-coat application does a great job.